we did what I guess he called, at that time he called it grinding. So it's kind of like, just being together but not actually having intercourse. That's something that I guess a lot of Mormons do, but they're not supposed to. There are different terms for it, like the Provo push.
The defense claims Travis was a master manipulator who coerced Jodi into believing it was okay, despite the Mormon vow of chastity, for them to have any kind of sex but vaginal sex outside of marriage. Jodi claims right after this photo was taken, right after Travis, an elder in the church, baptized her, he subjected her to painful anal sex.
We were kissing, and I was in my church clothes. He was in his church clothes. The kissing got more passionate, more intense, and then he spun me around. He bent me over the bed. He began to have anal sex with me.
Did you say anything? Did you tell him no?
No.
Was it pleasurable for you physically?
At that time, it was painful.
We're delighted to have an expert on the Mormon religious right now. Patrick Mason chairs Mormon Studies at Claremont Graduate University. Thank you for joining us, sir. The defense trying to prove Travis lived a double life, one as a good Mormon, the other as a sexual deviant. He's not here to defend himself, but there could be, we don't know, but there might be Mormons on the jury. How do you believe they will react upon hearing this kind of testimony that he baptized her and then allegedly had this kind of sex with her hours later?
Well, Mormons take chastity really seriously, the vow, the promise that they make not to have any kind of sex outside of marriage. And so any Mormons who hear that they'd be having this kind of premarital sex would be shocked. It would go against their religion, but especially the night of her baptism, that would be seen as sacrilegious, really.
Would it be seen as, which I'm only asking because the defense is trying to prove this, some kind of sexual deviancy?
Oh, certainly. I mean, for Mormons, sex is beautiful. It's given to us from God, but only within the confines of marriage. And so any sexual relations, whether it be premarital or extramarital, anything outside of relationships between a man and a woman would be seen as deviant in some way.
Simone Bien, you are a noted psychosexual and relationship therapist. You heard Jodi Arias talking about the Provo push. In other words, essentially trying to have sexual contact without it being labeled sexual contact, a grinding that doesn't involve removal of clothes. It reminds me of kind of like being a little bit pregnant. It's hard to have sexual contact without having sexual contact.
Exactly, Jane. I mean, come on. This isn't stuff that friends do. Any kind of grinding, or can be called frottage as well. That is a sexual engagement, and I don't buy all this stuff about the fact that you can't compartmentalise what sex is. She's talking about anal sex, oral sex. The clue is in the title. They're having sex of some description. What concerns me is when she said about when they were talking about anal sex, was it enjoyable? And she said it was painful at that time. So she's giving us an indication that actually there were times that clearly she did enjoy it. But they had this enmeshed, crazy, addictive, sexual power games that they were clearly both somehow getting off